Hello students, welcome back. In the last session, we were discussing about wrapper classes in Java. In that, we have discussed what is wrapper class, why wrapper classes are needed, primitive data type and equivalent wrapper classes. Then we have discussed converting primitive numbers to object numbers using constructor method, and we have also discussed converting object numbers to primitive numbers by using type value method. In today's session, we will continue our discussion of wrapper classes. So let's start. Converting numbers to string using toString method. So we can convert numeric values to string representation by using a method toString. So let us look at some of the toString methods given here. Integer dot toString, which takes integer argument and that converts it into string representation, and that will be stored in str. So that is primitive integer to string conversion. Then even we can convert a floating value, primitive float, to string representation by using float dot toString. This is primitive f that will be converted into string. Similar, we can convert double and long. Suppose if I have a value, say value 25, okay, and this 25, if I want to convert to string representation, then I can use a method that is integer dot toString. I may pass here 25 in place of I, and that will give me string representation of 25. That means it will give me 25 in double quotes. So double quotes are used to represent string, so it will give me something like this. So we can convert any type of value, whether it is integer, float, double or long, into string by using method toString. Again, toString method can also be used to convert numeric objects into string equivalent. So here we have converted primitive numbers to string object, but even numeric objects can also be converted into string by using toString method. Let us look at one example which is given here. You can see we have declared a variable here, float f. This is a primitive float which is having value 89.7 f. F represents float. If I remove the f, 89.7 is considered as double precision number, and double precision number cannot be stored in float, remember, and that is the reason we have added f at the end. So this we have studied in the earlier session also. So 89.7 we are storing in f, and suppose if I want to convert this into string, I may go for a method float dot toString, and f I am passing to it, and this will return me the string equivalent of 89.7, and that will be stored in s. And when I print s, it will print again, it will print the same value, that is 89.7, but it is of type string. It is not of type float, but it is of type string. Okay, so this is how we can convert number to string by using toString method. Now converting string objects to numeric objects. Now in the last example we have seen how to convert numeric to string objects. Now we will do a reverse process, that is converting string objects to numeric objects by using a method called as value of method. Value of method will give us the numeric representation of a string object. Okay, let us look at some examples here. Integer, then I may use integer x. So this is an object type, remember it is not int, it is integer x, is equals to integer dot value of 9. Now you may say ki we are not passing string here. In the table here we have seen everywhere we are passing string, but value of method can be used with other types also. Means not only string, I can convert primitive double into object double, primitive float into object float, primitive int into object integer or object integer by using value of method. So the argument which we are passing to value of method, it need not be only string, it can be of any type. In this example itself you can see I am passing 9. 9 is a primitive type here, and I am converting this 9 primitive into object integer. So value of method can be used to convert from primitive to object. Remember, it can also be used to convert primitive type to object type. Again, if I want to convert this 5 into object type double, I may use double dot value of 5, that will be converted into object double. Same way, float dot value of, I am converting to float object, and what I am converting 80, that is enclosed in double quotes, remember. So when I enclose something in double quotes, that is considered as string. So this string 80 I am converting it into float a, that is object float, by using value of method, and that same we are printing at the end. Okay, this is how we can convert string objects, or you can say any type of objects, into numeric object representation by using value of method. Okay, now next is converting numeric strings to primitive numbers. In the last case, what we have done is we have converted strings to numeric objects, remember. Now we also have methods where string can directly be converted into primitive numbers, that is string can be converted to int, it can be converted to float. See, int, float, long, I said these are primitive types we can convert it to, not the object float or object integer. So string can directly be converted into primitive numbers by using a method called as parsing methods. Look at the example here. We have int of I, so this is primitive I, remember, is equals to integer dot parse int. The method is parse int. So we can call it as parse xxx, where xxx, remember, xxx simply means the type in which you want to convert the string. If you want to convert it into integer, xxx is replaced with int. If you want to convert it into float, xxx is replaced with float, and if you want to convert it into byte, xxx is replaced with byte. Here we want to convert it into integer, so we have parse int. In bracket we are passing a string that needs to be converted into primitive int, so that will be converted into primitive int. Same way we can convert long dot parse long and str, so that will be converted into long l. Similar way we may have other methods of other parsing methods, like we have parse float, we have parse byte. So these methods can also be used to convert string to float and string to byte. Look at the example here. Suppose we have a string with a value 30.7. So this is string, you can see it is enclosed in double quotes, and this 30.7, if I want to convert to primitive float, I may use a method that is float dot parse float. Parse float, I am passing str. So this str 30.7 it is converted into float equivalent, and that will be stored in ret val. Now what is the difference between the float 30.7 and string 30.7? The difference, you can say, the quotes. When I convert this into float, that will become 30.7, that is not enclosed in double quotes. Okay, so similar way we can convert the other types also, like integer, long, byte. We can convert string to the respective types. Now one more thing to note here, the parse and parse long, parse float, these methods may throw an exception, and it may throw exception, that is error. It may throw an error, that is number format exception it may throw. When it throws that exception, whenever we try to convert a string into a numeric type, but the conversion is not successful, in such cases it will throw number format exception. For example, if I have a string here, this is 30.7, if I say 30.7 x, 30.7x, and when I try to convert 30.7x into float representation, this conversion fails because x cannot be converted into a floating type. X here do not have a particular numeric value, and this time this conversion fails, and when it fails, it throws number format exception. Or you can say, suppose I have a string str is equals to say ABC. So this is my string, and if I try to convert this into, say, integer, I may say here integer dot parseInt, and if I pass str, what is str? ABC. Can I convert ABC into integer, or ABC can be converted into a numeric type? No. In that case, it may throw number format exception. If we have digits in double quotes, say digits are 1, 2, 3, or any other digits 0 through 9 digits, these can be converted into numeric type. But if you have some alphabets or some special symbols in a string, and if you try to convert it into a numeric type, it always fails, and that time it throws an exception, an error, that is number format exception. Okay, so these are some methods using which we convert one type of value into another type. Okay, that's it in the today's session. We will stop here. Thank you.